So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with a new video, so listen it carefully. The king of Kalinga had one daughter named Sunanda, of whom he was immensely proud, but oh dear was she expecting. The princess was devastating her beauty, but when it comes to the question of marriage, she was impossible. The king was naturally very anxious to his daughter should marry a prince of a noble standing, and there was no lack of the suitors, but the princess burned them all. The king, in the despair, sent Enois far and wide, who returned the poor traits of great princes. When the princess was shown the portrait, she criticized this, and she says that in the end of the king threw up the hands in the discourse and wondered why he had been cursed with such arrogant daughter. As last resort, the king decided to hold a reception to which he invited the greatest princes of the land, each one outstanding looks and blessed with great wealth. The princesses were charming to them all. It certainly seemed that she was favored the tall, handsome Prince Rajendra of the vast Khandesh kingdom. After the reception, when all the princes had departed, the princess told the king with an air of the disdain that she did not care a fig of any of them. At this, the king lost his temper. "I have had enough of this nonsense," he shouted. "I will marry you to the first beggar that comes to the palace." The princess just laughed at such an absurdity. The following day of the disgraceful beggar came to the palace gates begging for alms. His dirty clothes and kept beard were very odd, repulsive, but in accordance with the king's order, he was immediately escorted to the audience chamber. As soon as king caught sight of the beggar, he shouted, "Come here, you vagabond, come here. You will marry my daughter, and I hope you will make her a worthy husband." The princess looked aghast as he thought, "I will not marry such a awful creature." She nodded, but the king was Adam saw the proud Princess Sunanda was married to the beggar, who appeared to be highly amused at the look of the other disgust the princess gave him. Immediately the marriage ceremony was over. The beggar caught the princess by the hand and almost dragged her out of the palace. "Come along," he chided her. "We have a long way to go." The princess, the journey seemed endless. They walked through the forest over rough country. Her poor feet, not used to walking, ached terribly, and she felt on the point of the collapse when the beggar with the disarming smile said, "Cheer up, we are nearly home." "But where are we?" she managed to say. "This land belongs to the Prince Rajendra," he said. "But I have a small hut in yonder valley, where we shall be quite comfortable." The hut turned out to be broken down affair comprising in one small room, which was shared with countless spiders, other crawling insects. As the princess stood there trying to keep back tears of the dismay, her beggar husband told her to go and collect wood and cook whatever food she could find in the hut. "But I do not know how to cook," she waited. "Then it's time for you to learn," he replied, stretching himself on the ground and promptly going to sleep. The meal she cooked turned out to be a very sorry mess, but after several days it all became a little easier, and after some time she was quite delighted at the dishes and managed to prepare and escape burning. At night she would lie and discover the cruelty of her fate, and yet somehow she had to admit her husband did kindly smile. There were times when she did enjoy his company. The beggar tried to teach her how to weave baskets and split bamboos, but her fingers became horribly blistered, and her efforts at weaving only brought chuckles from her husband. Then he showed her how to sew. That was just as unsuccessful as weaving. Her husband shook his head in apparent disgust. "You are no good at anything," he said. "But there are some pots in the back of the hut. Take them to the bazaar in the city and see that you get a good price of them." Somehow the princess managed to tie the pots together and find her way to the bazaar. No sooner had she arranged the pot on the ground when man and horseback come galloping into the bazaar, breaking and scratching her pots in all directions. When she arrived back at the hut, told her beggar husband that sad tale. He merely smiled. "Maybe I had better get you a job in the palace," he said, giving his wife a shrewd look. "I know Prince Rajendra head cook. He will find work for you in the kitchen." Taking no notice for her protest, the beggar took the princess to the palace kitchen, and she soon found herself busy scrubbing greasy pots at the whole sink. As she stood toiling over, she could not help thinking that not long ago she had the opportunity of marrying Rajendra. If only her husband was not so poor, she was sure that she will quite happy. Suddenly she realized someone was standing close behind her. Turning around, she was startled to see the smiling face of Prince Rajendra. Before she could utter a word in her confusion, the prince took her by the hand. Let us stop this comedy, he confided. I am a beggar husband, and I am the wicked man who broke your pots in the bazaar. It was all your plot hatched by your father to teach you a lesson. Now say you do forgive me. I am afraid I have been such an arrogant fool, whispered the prince, but somehow I have to love my beggar husband. This is the story of the beggar servant. I mean, the beggar is himself the Prince Rajendra. So it is the lesson to teach her that rejecting everyone is not good. Choosing one is good. And because he chose the beggar because of his fate, but that beggar is also be King Rajendra. So this is the story. I like it very much. So you also like to please like and share.